Welcome to Mastering Money and Wealth. Let me guess. You make just enough money to survive, but not enough to truly breathe. Your bank account looks like it's playing hide and seek, and every payday disappears faster than a free sample at Costco. You are trapped in the cycle of, I can't save because I do not earn enough. But here's the quiet, life-changing truth most people don't realize. You don't need a six-figure salary to become rich. You just need a six-figure strategy. And nobody's telling you what that actually looks like until now. Because if your paycheck is struggling to keep up, you're going to want to focus on this entire breakdown. Today, we're dissecting 10 quiet strategies to build wealth on a small salary. No lottery tickets, no sugar daddies, no scams. Just genuine, proven, and powerful financial tactics. The fact of the matter is, most people think wealth is about how much you earn. But I'm sorry to break it to you, that is far from the truth. Wealth is about how much you keep, how smart you grow it, and how quietly you move while everyone else is trying to flex for strangers on the internet. If you've ever said, I'll start saving when I make more money, seriously, that's like saying, I'll start exercising when I'm already fit. That mentality simply doesn't make sense. The strategies we're about to reveal are not complex formulas reserved for Wall Street millionaires. They are real-life tactics that normal people use to quietly become financially free, year after quiet year. It's time to stop waiting for a raise and start implementing a plan. Let's jump right into it. Strategy 1. Pay yourself like you owe you money. Alright, now I know that sounds weird, but let me ask you something. If you owed your landlord $300 and didn't pay, what would happen exactly? Eviction papers, passive-aggressive emails, and maybe a U-Haul. So, why is it that when it comes to you owing you money for your own future, your own peace, your own freedom, you let it slide like it's no big deal? You've got to treat your future self like the most ruthless bill collector on earth. Because here's the harsh truth most people never say out loud. Nobody is coming to build your wealth for you. Not your boss, not your parents, not the government. Only you can make the transfer from barely surviving to secretly thriving. And that starts with paying yourself first, no matter how small the amount. Let me give you an easy, actionable example so you can clearly understand the power of this single habit. Let's say you make $12,500 a month. Before a single bill gets paid, before you even smell a pizza or open a utility statement, you set up an automatic transfer of $50 to a high-yield savings or investment account. Now, I already see people in the comments saying things like, but $50 isn't going to make me rich. You're right, but that's not the point. The point is this. It rewires your brain to see wealth building as a non-negotiable, and not a maybe someday if I feel like it situation. Most people follow the traditional broken path. They pay rent, groceries, Netflix, Uber Eats, and then, if there's anything left, they might save. That's backwards. Flip it. Treat yourself like a bill. Pay you first. Even if it's $10 a week, even if it feels pointless. Because here's the secret. Wealth doesn't start with money. It starts with habit. Every time you pay yourself first, you're telling your brain, hey, future me matters. And that profound mindset shift is what creates future millionaires. You're not broke because you don't make enough. You're often broke because you don't keep enough. And that financial bleeding stops today with this one simple automation. Now that you've set up a system to pay yourself like a non-negotiable expense, let's start by exposing the tiny financial leaks draining your paycheck every month. And you won't believe how sneaky they are. Strategy 2. Track every dollar like it owes you. Rent. You ever check your account and say, where the hell did my money go? It didn't vanish. It just left quietly. A $6 coffee here, a $14 delivery fee there, a $57 Target run that was only supposed to be toothpaste. The truth is, you can't fix what you don't track. You need to gain absolute, ruthless clarity on where every penny of your small salary is going. Use an app, use a spreadsheet, use sticky notes and witchcraft, but track every single dollar. You use apps like Mint, YNAB, You Need a Budget or Monarch, or just open a notes app and start logging. When you track your money, you control your money. And when you control your money, you stop wondering where it went and start telling it where to go. Because awareness is a superpower. Most people don't have a money problem, they have a clarity problem. They are operating blind. This is a real-life mindset flip you need to understand. When you see your spending in black and white, laid bare on a screen, It forces immediate accountability. You stop pretending you're saving money by cooking once a week while door dashing 5 times. This tracking transforms your small salary from a mysterious, vanishing figure into a finite resource you are tasked with strategically deploying. Strategy 3. Live like you're broke. Even if you're not all right, we've stopped the bleeding. Now let's make your small salary feel bigger without asking your boss for a raise. Here's a spicy truth, often whispered among the truly wealthy. Rich people look poor. Poor people try to look rich. Don't fall for the trap. You don't need Gucci slides, a leased Mercedes, or $60 brunches to prove you're doing okay. Want to build wealth on a small salary? Start by living like your salary is even smaller. This is called intentional living, and it's how people making $40,000 a year quietly retire before people making $140,000 who are drowning in lifestyle debt. Living below your means is powerful, but what if you could expand your means without getting a second job? Let's talk hidden income. Strategy 4. Build quiet income streams that don't ruin your life. Let's get one thing straight. You don't need to grind yourself into dust, pulling double shifts, moonlighting as a barista, or working 14-hour days just to make extra money. That's hustle culture propaganda, designed to burn you out. You don't need a 9-to-5 and a 6-to-10. You need income streams that work in the background, requiring low-time commitment for high or scalable returns. The goal isn't to replace your job tomorrow. The goal is to slowly stack income layers so your small salary gets back up, like a financial safety net that you can also aggressively invest. We're talking about generating what we call quiet money. We're talking about selling digital products, flipping Facebook marketplace finds, freelance gigs you do once a week, stock photo licensing, writing faceless YouTube scripts. This is the quiet hustle. It's not glamorous. You're not going viral. But you're making $200, $500, or even $1,000 a month doing something most people never thought of. Here's what people get wrong. They think side income has to be loud, trendy, time-consuming, or some risky business launch. Nope. The quietest streams are often the most sustainable. That extra $200 a month, invested wisely and consistently, equals over $47,000 in 10 years. That's more than most people's entire retirement savings. So what happens when you start making a little extra? Do you immediately invest it? Wrong. First, you protect it. Strategy 5. Make your money untouchable. All right. So you're finally stacking a little cash from paying yourself first and building a quiet income stream. Congrats. Now let us make sure you don't sabotage yourself, because here is the brutal truth. Most people don't need a financial advisor. They need financial handcuffs. Here is a simple, effective trick to achieve financial invincibility. Set up a second bank account at a completely different bank, one you do not use for your everyday spending. This should be a digital vault, no debit card, no banking app on your phone. Make it intentionally inconvenient to access. Every time you get paid, automate a transfer to this vault, even if it's just $25. Now that money is off limits. Out of sight equals out of mind equals still there in 12 months. This is how people on small salaries accidentally save $500, $5,000, or even $10,000 over time. If your savings are easy to access, they're easy to destroy. You must put a lock on your progress, because broke people check their balances obsessively. Rich people forget they even have a savings balance. This disciplined distance transforms your small contributions into a substantial, resilient buffer. Strategy 6. Invest even if it's $5 at a time. All right, I'm just going to say it. If you're waiting until you make more money to invest, you'll be waiting forever. Nope, you'll have more money when you invest. The goal here is consistency, not size. Use accessible and beginner-friendly investing apps like Acorns, Fidelity, M1 Finance, or Charles Schwab. Start small. $5 a week. That's it. Automate it, link it to your checking account, and let it run. Why this extreme focus on starting small immediately? Because the single most powerful factor in building wealth is time in the market beats timing the market. And the earlier you start, the richer you eventually get, even if you start broke. Let's do a quick mindset shift. Wealth equals ownership. You know what broke people do with an extra $20? They spend it on a vibe. You know what wealthy people do with $20? They buy ownership. Poor people buy things. Rich people buy income. If you can own a piece of a business, even a microscopic slice, you're playing a fundamentally different game. If your money isn't making money, you'll always be trading time for it. Your small salary? Cool. Small, consistent investments? Even better. Because starting small trains you for the day, your money isn't small anymore. So now your money's working. But are you working smart? Let's flip the script and teach you how to use rich math, even if your paycheck is tiny. Strategy 7. Use the rich math formula. Let's be honest, you probably passed high school algebra by the grace of Google. But this is the only math that actually matters for your future. Poor people do math based on income. Rich people do math based on impact and intention. Consider the broke budget breakdown. Let's say you make $3,000 a month. Rent, car payment, food, fun. Leftover savings, $100 if they're lucky. That's called poor math, living right at the edge of your income. Now, let's introduce the rich math approach, utilizing the framework that allows people earning modest incomes to outpace six-figure earners drowning in lifestyle debt, the 50-30-20 rule. 50% needs, rent, basic utilities. 30% wants, eating out, entertainment. 20% wealth building, automated savings, investments. The trick? If you can flip the 30% and 20%, if you can prioritize allocating 30% to wealth building, you win the game early. What most people get wrong is their definition of budgeting. They think budgeting is about restriction, budgeting is about intention. You're not cutting back. You're cutting out the financial distractions that keep you broke. Poor math equals, I deserve this now. Rich math equals, I deserve freedom later. It's not how much you earn, it's what you do with what you keep. Small income? Use smart math. Okay, you've got the math. But even the smartest math won't save you if you're still falling for middle-class money traps that look smart but are secretly destroying your wealth. Let's expose them. Strategy 8. Kill the middle-class debt traps. This one's going to sting a little, but somebody's got to say it. Middle-class people don't go broke because of poverty. They go broke trying to look like they're not. We're talking about the financial traps disguised as normal that are slowly bleeding you dry. Buy now, pay later, car leases, and credit card minimum payments. You don't need debt to live well. You need discipline to live free. Why are these traps so dangerous? Because they're socially acceptable. Nobody questions you for financing a brand new car or swiping a credit card for a vacation. Meanwhile, the person driving the 2008 reliable Corolla with a maxed-out Roth IRA gets laughed at. But guess who's winning the long game? Broke looks rich. Rich looks boring. Here is the rule for someone on a small salary trying to build wealth. If you can't pay cash, you can't afford it. Period. Debt keeps poor people poor and the middle class perpetually stuck. If your lifestyle is financed, your freedom is forfeited. Stop making payments on things that don't pay you back. Kill the trap before it kills your future. So now you've cut the hidden chains. Good. But what if you could disappear, financially, not to hide but to protect your wealth, your peace, and your freedom? It's time to go full quiet mode. Strategy 9. Practice quiet wealth, the art of being invisible and rich. Let's play a quick game. Picture a millionaire. You probably imagined a person in designer shades and a leased Lamborghini. Now meet the real millionaire. They drive a 10-year-old car, wear $25 jeans from Costco, and have 7 figures quietly compounding in index funds. You walk past this person at Target, and you don't even blink because they don't look rich. That's the point. What is quiet wealth? It is the art of building serious money without making it anyone else's business. It's financial success that doesn't come with a spotlight, a flex, or a neon sign that screams, I made it. Why? Because the loudest people in the room are usually compensating, not winning. Want to build wealth on a small salary? Don't let people know you're building wealth. Why? Because when no one expects you to have money, you don't feel the relentless pressure to spend it to prove it. No flex, no lifestyle creep, just silent progress. Quiet wealth equals freedom. You are the person wearing a $12 hoodie and a $200,000 net worth. Mindset shift. Rich isn't a look. It's a strategy. Want to know the real flex? Financial peace. Freedom from debt. owning your time, not worrying about a $300 emergency. Let the influencers have their filters. You're building real freedom quietly. The goal isn't to impress strangers. The goal is to retire early, sleep peacefully, and have choices. Quiet wealth gives you all of that without the noise. Now that you've mastered the art of being invisible and stopped leaking money for status, let's talk about the final, most powerful weapon in your small salary arsenal: automation. Because the less you think about money, the more it grows without you noticing. This is how you lock in your success and make it inevitable. All right, you've survived the traps. You've paid yourself first. You're stacking small investments, building quiet income, and flying under the radar like a financial ninja. So now what? Now you stop trying to stay motivated and you start using machines to win for you. Because here's the truth no one likes to admit. You will not always be disciplined, you will not always be focused, but your systems, your automated financial programs, can always be automated. You are not trying to become a full-time money manager. You are trying to become rich quietly, efficiently, and relentlessly. The only way to guarantee consistency with a small salary is to remove the human element of choice and willpower from the process. The key to financial victory is to set up a chain of commands that occurs automatically the moment your paycheck hits your bank account. Automate everything, then forget about it. 1. Paycheck. Split. Work with your employer to direct deposit a specific amount of your paycheck directly into your separate, untouchable investment savings account before it even reaches your main checking account. 2. Savings transfers. Set up the non-negotiable transfer for your pay-yourself-first bill to that digital vault. And 3. Retirement contributions. If your small salary job offers any retirement plan, automate your contributions, especially up to the employer match. This is free money. 4. Investment contributions. Automate your small, consistent investment purchases into low-cost index funds or ETFs. Set it for the same day every week or month. 5. Bill pay. Automate all necessary recurring bills so you never incur late fees. The less you rely on willpower, the more likely you are to win. You're not going to manually remember and save that $50 every week after a hard day of work. But if it's automated, the money is gone before you even see it, and you won't miss it. You learn to live comfortably on the remaining balance, and your wealth silently builds itself in the background. Automation is the final layer of your wealth strategy. It makes your success inevitable. In conclusion, you don't need to earn more to become wealthy. You need to behave differently with what you already have. The 10 quiet strategies we've discussed form a complete, 6-figure strategy for anyone on a small salary. Quiet wealth isn't about flash. It's about habits, systems, quiet perseverance, and patience when everyone else is rushing to show off. So, if your paycheck feels small, cool. Your strategy just got huge. Discipline is great. Automation is greater because automation works when you're tired, broke, or distracted. You don't need to think your way to wealth. You just need to build the system and let it run. If you want the easiest, most foolproof way to grow money on a small salary, you must set it and forget it. Let robots and systems do the heavy lifting while you live your life stress-free, because wealth is built day by day, not paycheck by paycheck. If this opened your eyes even a little, comment the words, "I'm building wealth. We're watching. We're rooting for you."